What's up everyone, and today I'm bringing a deck profile on my Laval deck. Now Laval recently got some support in Ghosts from the Past, and I think I also got some in Lightning Overdrive. But without further ado, let's get right into it. First off, I run 3 Laval Volcano Handmaiden. Handmaiden, when this card is sent to the grave, if you have a Laval monster in your graveyard other than Volcano Handmaiden, send 1 Laval monster from your deck to your grave, and that is not a once per turn at all. So you can literally just go Handmaiden, into Handmaiden, into Handmaiden, which makes building up for Pot of Avarice pretty easy. I also run 3 Laval Archer. This is one of the new cards. Archer, if it is normal summoned during your main phase, you can normal summon 1 Laval monster in addition to your normal summon. And as an additional effect, you can target if this card is in your graveyard, you can target 1 fire monster you control, destroy it, and if you do, special summon this card in defense position, but banish it when it leaves the field. So it's a double summon essentially. I run 3 Laval Cannon. Laval Cannon, when it's normal or flip summoned, you can target 1 of your banished level monsters, special summon that target. This doesn't always come up because really the only way you banish them is off of Searing Firewall, or in some instances Rekindling. I also run 3 Laval Magna Cannoneer. Cannoneer, up to twice per turn, you can send 1 fire monster from your hand to the graveyard, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. So this is good in time, and also it can also help set up your Handmaiden. I also run 3 Laval Coatl. Cool, if you have 3 or more Laval monsters with different names in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. So it's essentially a free summon, and most oftentimes with Handmaiden, you will get like 3 different named Laval monsters in your grave. I also run the 1 Lakeside Lady. For this one, the effect doesn't really matter. The effect is to discard in your graveyard and you have 3 or more Laval monsters with different names in your graveyard. You match this card and 1 other Laval monster from your graveyard. Target 1 stack card on your opponent controls, destroy that target. You mainly want it because it's a level 3 tuner, and you can use it to go into the Salamander or Clearwing. I also run 2 Red Resonator. Red Resonator, when this card is normal summoned, you can special summon 1 level 4 lower monster from your hand. So it helps with getting multiple level monsters on the field. And I also run 3 Boost Warrior. Boost Warrior, if you control a tuner, you can special summon this card from your hand in the defense position. This card is pretty good. Not only is it a free summon, it's that a lot of the level monsters are tuners, so almost all the time it is going to be live. Next, moving on to the spells, I run 3 Molten Conduction Field. Molten Conduction Field is a double Foolish Burial because you can send 2 level monsters from your deck to the grave. Again, not a once per turn. Although pretty much all the levels are not once per turn, at least the older ones. I run 3 Searing Firewall. Searing Firewall, you can banish any number of level monsters from your graveyard, special summon an equal number of level tokens in defense position. So this is good to kind of like get a bunch of bodies on the field to like link them all away. I also run 3 Rekindling. Rekindling, you special summon from your graveyard as many fire monsters as possible with 200 defense, but banish them during the end phase of this turn. So in the same way as like Searing Firewall, it's good at putting bodies up on the field to get like really strong boards. Like one thing with this deck, I noticed you can get into very powerful boards pretty easy. Like most of the times I landed on a board of Apollosa, Savage Dragon, and sometimes also a Crystal Wing. I run 2 Birth of Prominence Flame. Birth of Prominence Flame, you can target 1 fire monster, 1 tuner, 1 non-tuner. With 200 defense in your graveyard, banish both monsters, and if you do, special summon 1 fire synchro monster from your extra deck, whose level equals the total levels of those monsters. So essentially you can synchro summon using your grave. I also run 3 Pot of Avarice. Pot of Avarice is definitely the draw power of choice in this deck, mainly because you can use that since Handmaiden effect is almost per turn at all. Like in practice, I even activated 2 of them on the same turn, and could have activated the 3rd one if I had it. So you fill up the grave very quickly and easily. Also run the 1 Foolish Burial because you want to get the Handmaiden effect off. I also run the 1 Card Destruction for the same reason as Foolish Burial, to help get those effects off. I also run the 1 for 1 Monster Reborn and Eroda because Boost Warrior and the Cannon are both warriors. Moving on to the extra deck. First, I run 1 Laval Dragon. Laval Dragon, you can shuffle 2 level monsters from your graveyard into your main deck and target 1 card your opponent controls. Return to the hand. It's a bounce, but honestly, you're not really going to use this one too much. Same with Laval Dragoon. Once per turn, you can add 1 level monster from your deck to your hand. Then you can send 1 level monster from your hand to the graveyard. Honestly, I go into the level monsters the least out of all the extra deck. These 2 more so. However, the other two Laval extra deck monsters that I run, I actually do go into. The first one is Laval Salamander. Out of all the Laval extra deck monsters, I'd have to say Salamander is the best, aside from obviously Laval Chain, which is banned. But Salamander is the one I end up going to in the most. And Laval X-Lord is also really powerful because it's negate. But I usually end up going into the Crystal Wing or Savage Dragon before I go into X-Lord. I also run the 1 Clear Wing and the 1 Crystal Wing, and a Borreload Savage Dragon to round out the synchros. Moving on to the links, I run the 1 Link Karibo, because we do run a lot of level 1s. A Hita, the Fire Charmer, usually to link away my Crystron Halky Fibrex and whenever I summon off Halky Fibrex. I also run a Nightmare Phoenix and an IP Masquerader. These two don't come up quite as much. Now, one card I do run that I've actually done pretty well, and that is Saryuja Scoldred. Definitely run 1 Saryuja Scoldred, because with cards like Searing Firewall and Rekindling, you can make Link 4s real easy. And since you can go into Scoldred so easy, that's just more draw power. Lastly, I rounded it up with an Axis Code and an Opaloosa. So what do you think of Wobbles? Think it's a pretty cool deck? Think it's got potential? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video I make. Bye.